How good's Tre Ford?
What's that?
How good's Tre Ford?
He's a very good football player. Very good.
Is he kind of changing the narrative about Canadian university quarterbacks, not just Canadian quarterbacks?
You know what? There's been some good Canadian quarterbacks come through. You know, Brandon Bridge a couple of years ago that we utilized when we were here in Saskatchewan. He was another good one. And like I say, there's been other guys that's played in the past, but certainly Tre's making his mark.
There have been some comparisons of him to Tracy Ham. I mean, it's only been 5 games so far, but how do you keep him grounded through all that?
Well, I think that's how he was raised. I mean, he's a solid character guy. All of our quarterbacks are solid character guys. In fact, the room is very solid. So I think that's you have to talk with Tre about that. But he's been raised the right way.
Do you regret not starting him sooner?
Well, I mean, certainly he's done some very good things. We made the decisions based off of things we saw in camp. It's hard to emulate game scenarios in practice. So certainly he's brought what we felt like he was going to bring when we drafted him.
It was a year ago tomorrow that you were here when Konar stopped Hickson on the 3rd one. You were doing the fist pump. Does it feel like deja vu all over again?
Well, I mean, we've been very close in a lot of games this year. Both Saskatchewan games came down to the 4th quarter, and they did enough to win those 2 before this one, and we did what we had to do to win this ball game. So there's been some close calls. The guys continue to fight. They continue to battle. I can't say how proud of them as I am right now.
I know you appreciate any win in a season like this, but is there a little extra juice winning in Regina?
It's a fun place to play. There's no doubt about it. I mean, the people here, they love football. They can speak intelligently about football. They know when to cheer and when to be quiet, so that tells you that they're football people. And so anytime you come to a place like that, it's fun to walk out with a win.
It's Tre's first time starting at Mosaic Stadium, which is usually the loudest stadium in the CFL. How do you feel like he handled it?
I thought he handled it pretty good. We didn't have, any delay of games. We didn't have any illegal procedures and that type of thing. So anytime you don't have pre-snap penalties to put yourself behind the sticks, it helps.
And what about that play that he made, 2nd and 20, shakes a couple defenders, finds a guy wide open? Is Tre the only guy in the league that can make a play like that?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, the kid in Ottawa's done some things like that. Again, there's some awful good. Zach Claro's been doing it for a long time. So Tre is, like I say, that's his trademark. And the good thing is like I just told J-Jack, he kept his eyes downfield, and I was proud of that. Found a guy open in. So
does Tre have that it factor?
You know what? He does right now. Certainly he's come in a very. You don't get much tougher than a winless football team. We're mid-season there at 0-9, and have to step into that. That doesn't. It doesn't usually bode well for guys, but he's done what's necessary to give ourselves a chance. And again, hats off to him.
And I'm assuming you're saying chance in terms of postseason. Are you guys talking about playoffs?
No, we're just talking about winning games. We're just talking about winning games. So the next game's the next game, and all that other stuff's got to take care of itself. And when you start looking, you got to depend on this team and that team. The only people we can depend on is the teams in here. So that's kind of what we're looking at.
So you've won 4 of the last 5, and the last 2 have been comeback wins. What does that say about the character of the guys in that room?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, like I say, it's something that I've said all year long. I mean, there's a lot of teams when you get to 6 or you get to 7 that they start shutting it down and thinking about something else, and this group's never done that. They come to work every single day. They're in there watching film early in the morning. They stay late in the evening. And we follow the 4.5 by the rule, but right to the dot. And you don't have to worry about this group. They work extra.
Did you have to do anything special to keep them engaged like that?
You know what? I think it's pretty much we've got a good staff. I feel like the staff's done a real nice job of keeping each group grounded and kind of on task, that type of thing. And then, like I say, the kids a lot of that comes from their character.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Doing such a good running attack today? Was there something you did different?
Well, I mean, we ran the ball real effectively last week. When you got a good running attack, it's usually you got 2 things. You got really good blocking and you got a really good running back. And I feel like today those 2 things, it wasn't always pretty, but I thought that there were some holes for him to run in. I thought the design of what we did was very effective and took advantage of some of the things that they do. And certainly our little running back ran hard.
It looks like Rough Rider defense was hesitating as the game went on, but we were trying to figure out where Ford was going, and I was giving some room for Kevin to.
Yeah, there was one time where I said he can't get to the edge right here, and then all of a sudden he outran everybody to the edge, and then not only that, but ran a touchdown. I mean, he's a very effective back. He's got tremendous, overall athleticism, and his ball security was good tonight.
Do you see teams playing Tre differently at all as he
Well,
goes along here?
I thought they had a pretty decent plan. Shives had a pretty decent plan. I thought Brent had a pretty decent plan last week. I mean, it's tough to spy him with one guy, and so it'll be interesting to see if more people try to come after him or if they're going to sit back and try to have people, spy him at the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be interesting.
Is there anybody that you've seen in person pull off the kind of plays that Tre's able to pull off, like how quick he can change gears?
Yeah, I mean, he's fast now. I mean, he ran 4.41 or 4.44 with a, almost a 40-inch vertical. I mean, there's not many of those people around at DB or receiver or running back. So I mean, he's one of the most explosive guys in the league, and you have to account for him.
He looks to be a very confident young man now. Are you feeling that in him?
Well, he's always been confident. He was confident, when he wasn't playing, he wasn't necessarily just a happy camper. He came to work, and you could tell by the look on his face that he wanted to play, and that's the competitor in him. And the thing is he never gives up on a play, and and that worked out well for us tonight.